Today's lesson is regarding proportional and non-proportional tables, and this is lesson 8. The goal, I can discern the difference between a proportional relationship and a non-proportional relationship in a table. So if we look at our first table, the X column represents cups of coffee and the Y column represents the cost. And we can see we've only been given amounts for two of those. And the first question should say, how can we use the limited information in the table to decide if this table is proportional? So if we go back and look at the table, we can see we've been given two y over x values. So we can see if there's a constant of proportionality using these two. So we're going to take the first yx value at $8.25 for 3 cups of coffee. And then we're going to take $13.75 for 5 cups of coffee. So pause this, use your calculator, and see if these are indeed the same number. So after we used our calculator, you should have had $2.75 per cup of coffee. And so this is the unit rate, and it's the same. So yes, when we used these two y over x values, we do have the same cost. So yes, this is a proportional table. So it goes on to say, if there's a constant of proportionality, use it to write an equation. Then use the equation to complete the table. So our equation would look like this. Y equals, so the total cost would equal $2.75 times each cup of coffee. So we're going to find all the y values by taking the x values that they give us. So the very first one that they give us is 1. So the y value for this would be $2.75. So we know the total cost now for 1 cup of coffee. We're going to do this repeatedly. I'm going to show one more time. We're going to take $2.75 times the next x value, which in this case is 2. And that would give us y equals $5.50. So I'd like you to go ahead and pause and complete the table, please. And so for 4 cups of coffee, this would be $11. And for 6 cups of coffee, it would be $16.50. So all of these would end up this constant of proportionality. Every time we took a y value divided by an x value, we would get $2.75. And you're probably noticing a pattern in this table. All of these are increasing by 1, and every time we move up here, we're adding another $2.75. So this is a proportional relationship in the table. So now let's move on to our second table. If we investigate this, again, it's the cups of coffee and the total cost. And the question says, is this table proportional? And how do we know? Well, we're going to start again by comparing the y to x ratios. So we're going to start with the first one. I see $2.90 over 1 cup of coffee. Again, that's the y over x ratio. And that is $2.90. So the next row is $5.70 over 2. So pause, use your calculator, and find that value. And this value is $2.85. So it appears that this may not be a proportional relationship. Let's check another value. Let's go ahead and take $8.40 and divide it by 3. Pause and find that value. And that value is $2.80. So we now know that this table is not a proportional relationship, And that's because there is actually no constant of proportionality. In fact, it looks like there is a pattern, but there's not a constant of proportionality, which brings us to this. Can we write an equation for this table? And we cannot use our y over kx. So we cannot write y equals kx for this table because it is not proportional. So let's turn to the next page. So the directions say use y divided by x or y over x ratio for each table to see if there's a constant of proportionality or k value. Show your work below each table. So I've given you work below the table. If you can find a constant of proportionality, write proportional below the table. If you cannot find a constant of proportionality, write non-proportional below the table. Finally, write an equation, either kx equals y or preferably y equals kx for each proportional table. So thank you very much for watching and have a good day.